This is Wholesaling Houses Elite, the no fluff and BS podcast with tips and tricks to help you become an elite wholesaler. Our guest will spill the beans on what it takes to be the best.
Hey, Wholesaling Houses Elite member, this is Maxwell, and welcome to another podcast. I got a special guest, and I know I say I got a special guest every time, but this one's pretty cool because I've been bringing you guys lately people that are in the mastermind with me. And the mastermind that I'm in is pretty close. It's limited. I think it's like 40 men and women. So for me to be able to interview people that are in the mastermind, it's almost like you get a taste of what it's like to be in this high level group. And with me today, I have Chaim Paulman. Now that's abbreviated of his name because his name, my tongue wouldn't even try to do it. But say your full name and introduce yourself.
My name is Chaim Maman Palman, and I'm more known as the virtual wholesaler guy.
That's true, because before I got to meet you, Chaim, I'd known you as the guy that was just a virtual wholesaler. Like before, because I think I met you for the first time in person in San Diego at the last mastermind. It was the first time I met you, and I was like, I've always known you as the virtual wholesaler. So anytime somebody had virtual wholesaling questions, you were the guy I pointed to, or you were the person that I looked to or referenced when I said somebody was in it. So kind of tell us how you got started in real estate investing to begin with.
So my story is, again, I was a 9-to-5 guy working in the corporate world, just realized that I'm the wrong track for my life, and knew that I had to do something to change this track. So start reading and thought that buying rentals will get me the passive income that I want. And I quickly realized that after buying 3 rentals, so I have $1,200, and I figured that's not gonna enable me to quit my job very quickly. So started to do wholesaling, and did it virtually because the last sets of rentals that I purchased was in Memphis, Tennessee, and I've kind of knowing the buyers. We are the turnkey guys that I purchased from, so they're my buyers. I knew the property managers and I knew realtors, and I said, you know what, let's try to do virtual wholesale deal. From San Francisco. I'm from San Francisco, and one of the agents sent me a pocket listing, was able to put it on a contract. I asked the turnkey person, again, what should I do next? And he told me, just send me an assignment deal and I would pay you $5,000. And that was the aha moment. Got a $5,000 check while working a 9-to-5 job, sitting in San Francisco, working a 9-to-5 job, and then kept doing it for another 2 years, until I got to a point that I made more money doing real estate than my 9-to-5 job. So I was able to come to my wife and tell, honey, I think I'm ready to quit. And that's kind of when everything started. Once I quit it, I just kind of scaled it and developed a team. And since then, changed my model. And I guess that's
where you are now.
Yeah.
So you were a corporate guy, 9-to-5. You said, hey, look, I'm seeing a lot of things on the internet about, investing to my freedom. You decide you buy 3 rentals. You buy them all in Memphis. Is that correct?
So I started to buy in California, ran out of money, and then I looked at other markets when I can buy cheap properties. And Memphis was one of the markets that, again, that's caught my attention.
Because a lot of, if you don't know, Memphis is real big for turnkey investors. Essentially, people are buying houses, fixing them up, and then they're going around, and then they're just selling them, usually with a tenant in it, and it's already cash flowing the moment an investor buys it. And dude, they're making money. So I think that's awesome. So you bought your last one, and you're like, listen, this $1,200 a month I'm getting is not worth it. I need to try something else. And where did you find out about wholesaling? So
I started reading, and I was in bigger pockets, and I was starting to be on Facebook and bought a course after course after course. And I'm a product of gurus. A lot of people are anti-guru. I'm a product of gurus. So started to just learn about from Chris Chico, from Joe McCall, and from Ken Clodier, and from Sean Terry, and just buying a course after course and implementing and taking action. I guess that's the key word. Until something stuck, and I was able just to grow it to a point that I was able to quit my job, which was my initial goal to quit my job so I can travel more. I can run a virtual business, have a business that supports my lifestyle, and not the other way around. And that's how I started to do wholesaling.
So I'm real interested in the virtual side of things because, I get that question a lot in my Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses Elite. A lot of people are in markets like San Francisco, bigger markets like Miami, and they say, it's tough, maybe too tough for me to try to break the barrier of entry of wholesaling. So you're virtually, what were you scared? What does that look like sitting in San Francisco, putting a property you probably never put your eyes on personally, and then being able to sell it? What is a fair barrier? How scared were you when you first did it?
First of all, I went to lower end market because I was scared to play with the big boys in San Francisco. The median price here in San Francisco, it's over $1.5 million. So as somebody with a 9-to-5 job, 2 kids, again, my mindset, I was the barrier. It was me, my in my head. I thought I can buy and put an offer for $1 million or more, say that I am paying cash, and assign this deal to another investor. So now that I'm more experienced and I do wholesaling in San Francisco, usually in order to make the big bucks, you need to close on the deal. It's very hard to assign a 6-figure deal to an end buyer. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you need to close and then list it on the MLS or try to sell it off market. But for me, the big barrier was the numbers. And that's why I said, let's learn and go to school and make mistakes on a $30,000 properties, $50,000 properties. You can get more traction with your marketing budget. Here in San Francisco, it's less than 0.25% as far as response rate. Obviously, the other methods that you're doing, I'm sure you're going to get better response rate, but still, compared to other markets,
it's so low.
It's very, very low. So in order to get some and generate leads, you need to put much more money. And if you're starting out, it's just harder to get some traction with your budget.
So you decided, hey, I'm not going to play in San Francisco because it's just going to take a lot of money. I'm going to go to a lower market. And you said you got that first house under contract because a realtor called you and said, hey, before I list this, for example, a lot of people don't know what a pocket listing is. Basically, when a realtor calls you, says, hey, before I put this on the MLS, I'm going to tell you about it and you can make me an offer. And if the seller takes it, you can have it before it goes out to the world. And that's how you found your first property.
Exactly. So I started to network with agents, and I told them, listen, I'm on a market. I want to buy. I'm from California, looking to buy a rental. And he has a seller that has multiple properties, and he didn't want to list them. He wanted a quick cash offer. And usually the agents, generally speaking, they are lazy. So they prefer to take a cash offer without listing the house, without all the paperwork, without doing an open house. And they can get both sides of the commission if they're also representing you. So that was the angle that I initially took, and that's what got me the deals. And actually the first 25 to 30 deals were all properties from the MLS, from realtors.
Really? And how long ago was this?
That was up until maybe 2 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Now it's harder because it's more competitive. When I was just starting out, I developed the systems to make 100 offers, 200 offers per week with virtual assistants. Wow. And I was just banging offers for like 800 in a month. And it was a numbers game. I got for every 200 offers, I got one accepted.
Got it. Now, for you as doing it virtually, did you have people go look at the house, take pictures? How did you get your contract signed? Like just some of that stuff. So anybody that's thinking about virtual wholesaling, how did you go about the logistics side of getting a property under contract, 2,500 miles away?
Yeah, so I always had boots on the ground. Again, my model is I need to have somebody go and take pictures and video of the property, send it back to me. I can review it and make an educated offer and trying to guesstimate the repairs. So that was my model. And once they bring it back again, I was paying $50 per property.
Nice.
Just to getting 50 or more pictures of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the property, and walk through video for the exteriors and the interior. And my boots on the ground just send me a Dropbox link with all the pictures and the video. And once I get it, I'll send him $50.
That's awesome. So $50 is affordable to be able to get pictures. And then your contracts, did you get signed with a notary, I'm guessing, mobile notary?
I was just electronic signatures.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 2018.
Yes.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, I was signing now. And if it was an older person, then I was going with the mobile notary angle.
Okay. Perfect. So, that right there pretty much sums up what you needed to do. You obviously took the time. You learned the market yourself, so you can't explain how that works. You learned the market. You found somebody for $50 to go out and take pictures once your marketing hit. And I know you had some cool strategies with mail. You would do a lot of mail. That's kind of where I learned about you, was you had a mail system that you would send out and do stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. So $50, your marketing, and you move forward. But now, are you still doing wholesaling? Are you switching? What are you doing now?
Today, so I evolved, I guess. So
Yeah.
And so I went through a process when I was, it was in my head. I was, all the people in the mastermind, they all have big teams. So I had a big team. So I had 7 people. And for me, it was a big deal. So I have 2 acquisition people. I have a lead manager. I have 2 virtual assistants. I have a disposition person. And I was doing a fairly big volume, again, maybe 7 deals per month. And for me, it was a lot. And just to realize that I hate managing big teams. Mm-hmm. And again, the money was great, but all the drama with the big team, so managing KPIs and Monday morning meetings and all of that, and the drama and the firing and the hiring, it just was too much. Mm-hmm. And I switched the model from a high volume, low spread deals like in Memphis, because the average deals, again, probably in your market too, is anywhere between $7,000 to $15,000 per
Correct.
deal,
Yeah.
generally speaking. So instead of doing high volume, low spread deals, I shift the model now to the Bay Area when I have experience now to go low volume, big spread deals, because that's allowed me just to have a much smaller team, and I can make just as much, if not more, by doing less.
What's your average spread in the Bay Area right now?
Right now, but
I know it fluctuates, but
yeah, I'm shooting for, again, so the target is 6-figure deals. That's the target.
$100,000 plus.
Yes, per deal. So I had a deal which was a slam dunk deal, which was a $350,000 on one deal. And
wow.
And I'm doing flips now, so I'm not just doing flipping contracts or double closing. Mm-hmm. So I will just take it to the finish line by rehabbing the deal. And
that's where you find a lot of meat on the bones. But you get to cherry pick the ones that you want to do, and you don't do them all.
Yes, and again, I don't do a lot of volume. So this quarter, I'm just doing 3 deals. That's it, because my guiding principles is just make more, work less, and play more.
I love that.
Accomplished. So I'm good with just making 3 deals, and if I'm getting 6-figure on each deal, it's still a pretty good payday.
You're doing all right.
Yes, exactly.
So I like that. So you more, and I know we were in the mastermind talking, and you said, listen, I want to spend more time with my family, less time working on deals. I want to travel the world. You actually want to enjoy the fruits of your labor now. And I think you talk a lot about, building a business to your lifestyle, because you're right. Somebody can see my outfit and say, listen, he's got 7 employees, which I have the same employees you had, and say, this is what I want to do. This is what I need in order to reach $100,000 a month. And then you're showing a model and you're saying, no, you can do it. It's just a mindset change, because in the beginning for you, it was just these high numbers, $1 million, you learned it and you knew that, okay, it's $1 million, but the buyers are paying $1 million. So it don't matter.
Right. And it's more competitive.
Yeah.
So you'll have an easier time moving the deals in most cases. Mm-hmm. But I also partner with somebody in my market that was a shark that also in our mastermind, Jason Boozy.
Yeah, Jason Boozy, good guy.
And we closed together the first deal. That was great, because I was still scared. I thought that this is, again, outside my comfort zone, and in order for me to do it right, I need to partner with somebody to show me how to do it. So I brought Jason to the deal. I brought the deal. He came and helped with the funding and by disposing the deal and selling it and adding his expertise. So we add value to each other, and it's okay to split.
Absolutely.
A big deal when you both add value, and I think this is something that it's also that I'm moving more towards partnerships, because you can profit, but you're working less.
Yeah.
And that's one of my principles, just trying to work less and make more.
So, but right now you still have the blueprint to be able to say, okay, I want to go into XYZ market and make money, but you choose not to because you've seen that already. And you just want to say, look, if I can do 3-4 deals a quarter, 3 deals a quarter, they all make 6 figures. You're still pushing $1 million business all day long.
Yes.
That's awesome. So if somebody was looking to start a lifestyle wholesaling or real estate investing business, how can they evaluate themselves to kind of see what how they should build their business, I guess you should say?
I guess everything starts with the end goal in mind.
Mm-hmm.
What's your perfect lifestyle look like? And for me is to travel as much as I can with my family. Again, next month I'm going for 2 months to Israel to travel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to work because I just don't want to. My kids are off school. My wife is off her teaching job, and we just go and travel and we spend time with the family. That was one of the end goals. So what strategy you can have to support this lifestyle?
Yeah.
And initially for me, it wasn't fix and flip, because fix and flip, you need to be on site once a week. You need to check with the contractors. You need to write checks.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can develop systems to support all of that, but when you're starting out, you're doing everything, right? So I thought, okay, what can I do? What type of business, of strategy I can do in order to support my lifestyle, in order for me to be in Israel and still run a virtual business?
And that's awesome. I think nobody really talks about that in this business. Anybody that teaches real estate investing or wholesaling talks about the big scale, big model. At least from my knowledge, I don't know anybody that goes out and teach that model. So I think more people should, talk about lifestyle investing because, it's possible. You're a testament to that. But getting back to virtual wholesaling, for our guests and our viewers,
Mm-hmm.
what should they look for in picking a new market? Like,
New market?
Yeah, if somebody wants to pick a new market, what are some of your parameters to say, okay, this market looks good, let's test it?
Yeah, so my model, the virtual market, the model that I use works better for, I call it a cash flow market. Mm-hmm. Markets like, again, Memphis, Indianapolis, Kansas City, St. Mm-hmm. Louis, probably your market fit the model mm-hmm. As well. Medium price is usually properties under $200,000. Mm-hmm. That's the bread and butter type deals. A lot of rental properties, so you can capture both buy and hold investors, turnkey companies, and fix and flip investors. You want to see a lot of cash or investors activity. So I always go to ListSource and checking the last 3 to 6 months of absentee owners activities in the last 3 to 6 months, just mm-hmm. to see how many of them are there. And usually I want to see a lot of activity mm-hmm. For investors. So that's usually the way I pick a virtual market that I think will be a good fit, mainly because you have a lot of buyers. So once you get a deal, you'll be able to sell it quickly, and also it's less competitive than markets like Miami, San Francisco, LA, Seattle, and Portland. So
how were you able to find?
You're probably on a limited budget, so
mm-hmm.
you want to generate enough leads, because a lot of people quit with the first 3 months. They don't see that it
every time
they quit. So at least have a plan for 6 months that you can market, so you'll have a better chance in this type of market as opposed to San Francisco. Just an example.
How did you find buyers virtually, living in San Francisco and marketing to buyers in Memphis?
It's just the old-fashioned way. You just pick up the phone. And for me, one of the main buyers were turnkey companies.
Mm-hmm.
And turnkey companies usually have a very strong online presence. If you go to Bigger Pockets, they are very active on Bigger Pockets. If you put turnkey companies in Charleston or in Memphis, you'll have a full page in Google, and they usually will have a phone number there. So you just pick up the phone, ask to speak with the acquisition team, and you just introduce yourself. You tell them who you are, what you do, and if it's okay to pitch them a deal once you have something under contract.
That's awesome, man. Look, Chaim, I really appreciate you taking the time and coming out, man. I because we haven't had somebody on that talks about virtual. We did have Jalen on, and Jalen is also in our mastermind. Jalen's talking about he is in Arizona, and he's also now working the Memphis market. So I'm sure he's talked to you while he was gearing up and getting some of his stuff together.
Jalen and I partners on the deal together.
Yeah,
it's actually a good deal. So,
and that's cool, because that's what masterminds are for people to learn from each other. We're all high volume in our own sense, but right. Now Jalen can partner with somebody, and he's vetted and trusted, and vice versa, and you can make it happen. Yeah. But before we part ways, can you give any words of encouragement or wisdom to anybody starting out and they just learned about wholesaling 2 weeks ago? What would you tell them?
I would invest in relationships with other successful people by not asking for advice, but the focus is to how I can add value to somebody that is already experienced. Because I'm sure you get a lot of requests. Can I pick your brain? And
that's the worst. That's the worst thing to say, right?
No. So instead, how can I add value to you? So again, by driving for dollars, by whatever it is that you can do to somebody else, because you can either bring money to the table, expertise, or hustle. Right? That's usually so. Yeah. Usually when you're starting out, you don't have the expertise and you usually don't have money.
All you got is hustle. Yeah.
So find a way to bring a hustle and value to other people who are successful, and try to learn in exchange to hustle.
Yeah. So are you doing any coaching for virtual stuff, or are you just?
Yes, I do. I actually do. Coaching is, again, it's something that I want to add value to others, because it helped me change my life for the better. So especially people who work a 9-to-5 job and hate their job. So again, virtual wholesaling did it for me. So I do offer coaching. It's more about the small group coaching and one-on-one.
Okay. Is there somewhere they can check you out or reach out to you? How can they do that? Because I didn't even know. I honestly didn't know that you did virtual, but it makes sense that you should, because not too many people have the model to be able to do virtual, and then it really hits home with people that are in the 9-to-5 that want to find a way out, and you've got the blueprint.
Yes, so the virtual wholesaler guy, it's on Facebook. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And again, you can send me private message, and if you want to talk about that, be happy to do that. But yeah, again, I'm not fully going the guru route. It just specifically people who are right fit. Yeah. And just I want to. They need to pass the beer test, and something that would be fun to work with. I always look, I can partner with my students as well, and trying to grow together, help them grow, and obviously they can add value to me and I can add value to them. I found that's the best model usually.
Awesome. So he's on Facebook, the Virtual Wholesaler Guy. I'm also going to put a link in the show notes below. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or you're actually watching this on YouTube, do that, because I think I can vouch for him 100% and know that he's legit. I know he has the blueprint. We share high-level stuff with each other in the mastermind. Are you going to Charlotte? You're probably going to be gone.
I will be traveling. I'll be in the World Cup in Russia. So.
Oh, man, I'm so jealous. I'm jealous. World Cup. Yeah, that's right. I did see you post that picture. Yeah. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know go enjoy some time with your family. And look, and I'll see you after you get back from Russia, since you won't be at the mastermind in Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for listening to the Wholesaling Houses Elite podcast with Maxwell. Make sure to tune in next week to see what elite wholesaler will have in the hot seat.